Hello, my name is Brian Shircliffe. I'm with Timekettle, and today I'm going to go over our WT2 Edge translation headbud earpiece. And this is what it looks like outside of the retail package. In the package, there'll be a special cable, a USB-C cable that fits right into the back of the device. It just needs to be a little bit longer than a typical USB-C cable. Then you got the two internal earbuds, okay? And it's a left and a right, but these are completely two independent devices, actually. We can have up to 6 of these. So the charging indicator is on the front. That's where you're gonna see how much charge is left in the case, and these are gonna charge through the case. So you charge the case, and the case charges the earbuds through those connectors. They come in white and black. There is an on and offline mode. All right, now we're gonna see what makes them revolutionary. Well, it's really because they are truly the world's first bi-directional simultaneous translation devices. This basically means that we can listen to each other in a translation conversation without having to touch anything. We don't have to touch the earbud like our previous model, the M3. This enables you just to have a conversation with somebody without that intermediary. To me, it feels very much like having my own personal interpreter whispering in my ear as I'm talking to someone else. So that's really what makes this product extremely different from everything else on the market. And it's really our mission is to create the most seamless, non-intrusive way of communicating. So there is a way to have it where you can have it one way where you talk and then you tap it. That's called touch mode. That's in the M3 device. That mode does exist on this, but today we're going to go over the main ways that schools use this device, and that is with the simultaneous mode and the speaker and listen mode. You can have up to 3 pairs, so that's 6 devices paired with the app. Up to 6 people can use this. That could be either one language to 5 other, let's say you have English and Spanish, 1 English speaker to 5 Spanish, or 2 English to 4 Spanish, or 3 and 3. Smart noise reduction is the technology inside of these earbuds. These earbuds you can't make a phone call, you cannot listen to music. These are designed specifically for translation and translation only. The microphones in there, if you can see them, they're pretty small. These have noise reduction chips inside of them, and that's how we are able to isolate the voice right around the mouth so that we're not picking up anyone else that we're talking to. The accuracy is very important for Timekettle. A lot of devices out there in the market that are much less expensive, their accuracy falls much shorter of an actual human. We will not release a language until we are confident that it can understand a native speaker in their own language, and that it's not just accurate to English or Chinese, but that, let's say you're talking and someone's talking in Urdu and they're talking to somebody in Korean. We need to make sure that it is 95% accurate between those 2 languages, not just the main languages. So we're very conservative on which languages we support. However, we are adding languages all the time as they are requested. These are the languages that we support. This represents about 85% of the world's population. Of course, the main ones being English, Spanish, and Chinese, but all the other major languages are represented here, especially in Europe and South Asia. We also have 93 accents or dialects. Most of these dialects are the English, Spanish, and Arabic. That's where every English-speaking country has their own dialect. Ireland speaks different from the UK, speaks different than New Zealand, speaks different than South Africa. So we have different dialects because they have different words and pronunciations. And also the voice that they hear will be a little bit different. By having like a British accent if it's set to UK. Spanish, same thing. We have everything from the United States, Mexico, Puerto Rico, El Salvador, Venezuela, Chile, Spain, Philippines. If there's a country that speaks Spanish, has its own dialect. And also Arabic. So with Arabic, you choose the country that they're from, and that will be the dialect that you select. And even with French, we have Canadian French, France French, Portuguese, and Brazilian. Urdu too, there's Pakistani and Indian dialects. So we have dialects. So when you select that language, you need to make sure that you pick the right dialect as well. Offline translation is something that we actually do not recommend. This is a fallback just in case you cannot get an internet connection for whatever reason. You might be somewhere without internet. There's no Wi-Fi signals, maybe you're out in the middle of a forest or wherever. We do have the ability to have certain languages being offline, so you can use this without needing an internet connection. And those offline translation devices, pairs are listed here. So it's English to Chinese, Japanese, Spanish, French, Russian, Korean, and German. So right now I'm going to go over the modes. There are essentially 4 modes with the Timekettle WT2 Edge. The most common mode to use it is one-on-one mode or simultaneous mode. So that's where you take both of the earbuds out. Now I don't have anyone here to talk to, so I'm gonna wear both of them. I've got left and right. Go into the app, hit simultaneous mode, and here I see Chinese and English. Well, I do not speak Chinese, but I do speak a little bit of German, so let's try that. Once you hit the microphone button, it's going to be listening. It's talking to me in German in this ear and English in the other ear. Ja, sehr gut. Danke schön. Danke bitte. Great, so you can see that I can see the German and the English, so I would put the actual device on in front of me so that if I was the English speaker, I would see the translation in English on my side and they could see it in German or whatever language on their side. And keep in mind, we can have up to 6 of these devices simultaneously. These are the devices that we support, so you would hit WT2 Edge. But listening mode is where, let's say I'm listening to a TED Talk or somebody speak like a lecture. This is very commonly used in classrooms where you don't need to have a bi-directional translation. You just need to know what's being understood. Go ahead and put it in that mode. You can select different things like the noise level. It's relatively noisy. And that's where it's going to use the microphone inside of the phone. So now I can put that phone near let's say I'm watching the news in another language. I can put it up to the TV or to the speaker and be able to hear. So right now I got it going. It'll translate whatever. So if it's listening in English, I'm hearing it in German in my ears. What I really like about this mode is that I can see the original language and the translated language. The audio is about half a second delayed from after detecting the full sentiment of the meaning. That usually happens when there's a pause. It'll detect that period, and then it's going to obviously lock in that translation and then send that audio to the earpiece. So right now, everything that I'm saying, I'm hearing with a female German text in my ear, and you can see that on my screen. Again, a lot of students like to use this to listen in. It's a great mode. And then you can have all 6 of the devices, you know, say listening in on an English teacher in, say, Spanish. Another method of using these devices is, I'm going to take one of them out, is speaker mode. Speaker mode is where the speaker and the microphone on the device are going to be used as well. So this is very handy if I'm talking to a group of people or to somebody who doesn't want to put an earpiece in their ear, or you don't want to give them an earpiece for whatever reason. This is how this mode works. So when I hit English, and I'm speaking English, it's going to be detecting the English, obviously. That will be then translated into my ear in German. Now, if I'm talking to someone in English, ja, sehr gut, danke für dich.
Yes, very good then. Thank you for you.
Ja, das earpiece is toll.
Yes, that. Lush is great.
I don't know the German word for earpiece. Maybe I should learn that word. But ja.
I don't know German.
Es ist toll.
Yes, it's great.
Yeah. So you can see that this is another method of using it that would be very handy in a classroom.
So you can see there's another method of using it then, or hearing in a classroom.
Yeah, so right now it's listening to my English and it's obviously speaking here. So let me take it out of that mode. Again, that's for maybe large groups. It's very similar to the listen mode, except now I can talk back through the speaker on my either iPhone or Android device. It could be a tablet, could even be a Chromebook. So there's a lot of different ways of using the application. As long as it runs Android or iOS, you're good to go. Another mode is the touch mode. This is where instead of, basically just like the speaker mode, except I'm gonna touch this when it's my turn to talk, right? So if we all have earbuds, instead of us all talking at once, you would touch it. And let's see, so my left is English, right? So I'm gonna hit English, and you'll see on the screen as I hit the English, it changes it on the device. So now we can switch languages without having to actually touch the device. I'm hearing it in German in this ear. Okay, so as you can see, it works just fine. I will say there's a little bit of a getting used to. It could be 5-10 minutes or so. So just know that the first time you have students using this, it might take them a few minutes to get used to talking like this. And that is about it. More or less, there are some accessories. One of them is the silicone cover. Some of these come in the retail box, and these can be also made available to your schools in bulk. So if you want to make an order, I believe it's 500 of these is about $50. So let me know and we can send you out earpieces. We also have a cleaning kit. It's basically a brush, very similar to like a toothbrush that can clean it. I highly recommend having alcohol wipes. They're inexpensive and ubiquitous. You just open them up and you wipe it, throw it away. Battery life. The battery life on these are quite good. So if you are using this in a full-on conversation, you at least got about 2 to 3 hours of continual use without needing to charge it. However, if you're just using one of these, what I recommend is keep one in here. You only need one earpiece to listen in. If that one is getting low, you just simply take it out, pick up the other one, and wear that, and let the other one charge. Okay, so that is my recommendation for how to use these. And you'll see 12-hour battery life with the case. So even if you are out and about, you don't want to keep this constantly charged, you know that you have about 12 hours of use with one. We can go through some typical use cases for these. Very popular in churches where you can check out one of these devices. A lot of churches use what are called FM systems, where maybe an actual live interpreter is interpreting for them. That's very expensive, and a lot of churches, a lot of that's volunteer work. So if the volunteer doesn't show up, they don't have a translator, that could be an issue. International business, of course, that's kind of self-evident. Schools, in my opinion, the WT2 Edge works best for kind of elementary school and lower. You maybe have a classroom set. You have a few students in that classroom that need a little bit of extra help and attention. This is really great for that. Also for parent-teacher meetings, you need to talk to the parents. There might be several stakeholders, right? You might have the grandparents involved or whoever. And then the teacher can wear one of these and pass out, basically 5 earpieces to talk to the group, or use that speaker mode where you can talk to them through the actual phone. This is one of my favorite. A lot of multicultural families use this. One of my best friends is Russian. He met his wife at UT Austin. She's from China. His parents and her parents can't talk without going through him, then to her. So there's a lot of intermediaries. He purchased a few set of these, and now his parents can talk to her parents when they get together. So it's really bringing and connecting people together in ways that just wasn't even possible before AI technology like this. So this is really one of the most revolutionary ways of communicating, in my opinion, and one of the reasons why I'm so excited about working here. So, of course, in medical, we're working on certifying, having some HIPAA compliant AI translation, special services for that. So be in the lookout for how we are supporting hospitals and clinics with our devices. And with that, I'm going to leave it there. I will say on the app itself, there are some other features like it does keep a transcript. So if you need to go back and get a transcript of what was said, there's also an AI summary. So if you have a meeting and you want to make a summary of what was said, the AI has that ability to just kind of give you bullet points. You can also add personal words. So there's for example, like Starbucks, if you want it not to translate that and just keep the brand name or maybe the name of your school or whatnot, you can program words that will either not translate or translate into whatever you want it to translate into. Feel free to message me directly. I'm brian.shircliffe, brian.shircliffe at timekettle.us. So that's new. Timekettle.us. Our phone number is 832-452-9868. So thanks and good luck.